limitbreak.discord to call in, limitbreakradio.com/discord. Let's talk about guns, because apparently it's too soon.
I thought it was too soon.
It's not too soon.
No. Here's
Now is the right time to talk about
Well,
guns.
to be fair, back when Sandy Hook happened, that was the right time to talk about it.
Well, long before that. I mean, probably Columbine was maybe the right time to talk about it, but here's the thing.
I don't know. If we really want to rewind the clock, Texas State University.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You're right.
I mean, dude, this has been going on for a long fucking time.
Here's the thing. If someone says it's too soon, say, great, I want to talk about guns in relation to the Vegas shooting or anything else.
You're right.
It doesn't have to be in relation to this. There's plenty of other good reasons to talk about guns.
Yep.
So...
We got a problem.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
We have a problem with guns and the proliferation of guns. Now, and let me preface this by saying I like guns. I don't have a problem with guns. I don't have a problem with people owning guns. That is not my problem, okay? I do have a problem with the proliferation of things like assault weapons and automatic weapons, or things that can turn assault weapons into automatic weapons.
Yeah.
We all know how easy it is to get attachments and how modular all of these goddamn things are. We know because we fucking put them together digitally all the time.
Yep. It's not hard.
It's not hard. Yeah. It's, and the thing about this is and the thing that drives me fucking crazy is that, I know a lot of people in Michigan involved with the medical marijuana industry.
Sure.
And they're going through a very tough, painful period right now because the laws of the state are changing, and the way that they were previously written, there were no real standing laws about the way that, or even the places that dispensaries could or couldn't open. And it was sort of like, because there were no rules, law enforcement didn't know what to enforce or what not to enforce. Places were getting raided. Cities were voting them out of their, out of their business districts entirely. And so, while the licensing process has been very difficult, very costly, and very trying for all of the people that I know have been involved in it, they're all saying the same thing, that it's totally necessary. This is what we've needed from the word go. I'm going to cross every T and dot every I, and my business is going to be a legal business in this state.
Yeah.
The amount of hoops that they're making these people jump through so that sick people can get access to organic medicine are insane, but they are also necessary.
Because of the other half of what that industry is.
Correct.
There is a good use for it, but you can't just look away and ignore the fact that there is a large criminal use for it, too.
Correct. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who get on the program erroneously just so they can get access to pot. And we can talk about recreational pot all day long if we want to. I'm a big supporter of that. I wouldn't care if recreational pot was made legal tomorrow. Okay, but the point is that this is a medical industry, and it's being treated now as a medical industry within the state of Michigan. And the amount, like I said, the amount of hoops that these people have to jump through, there's a lot of them, and they seem like a lot. But
if you were trying to open a pharmacy,
if you're trying to open up a gun shop,
yeah.
Are you put through the same amount of fucking scrutiny? I don't know, but with the amount of gun shops that are open in this fucking country, and even in this state, tells me probably not. Now, the thing is I don't know about gun licensing or what you need to do to license yourself to be able to sell firearms, and I'm sure that the majority of people who sell firearms do it legally, but there are far too many loopholes, like gun show loopholes and trade loopholes, that people can do to be able to get around that.
Yeah, one of the most...
These are the problems that people are talking about when they're talking about enacting gun control. They're not talking about coming and taking your guns. They're talking about making it difficult to sell a gun, because it should be as difficult, if not more difficult, to sell a gun than it is to sell weed.
Yeah, except the NRA doesn't agree with that. At
Of
all.
course they
At
don't.
all. In fact, one of the most mind-boggling interviews that I had saw once, and it did include Stephen Colbert was talking to somebody from the NRA. He gave him a red sign. He's like, I'm going to say something, right? And if you feel like this infringes upon your rights, I want you to hold the sign up.
I think Thor tagged me in that.
Yeah, okay. And so, he mentioned stuff like, all right, background checks. Nope, that infringes. Oh, okay. You have to take a test or some type of course. Nope, that infringes. Oh, okay.
24-hour waiting period.
24-hour waiting period. Nope, infringes. 1 hour waiting period. No, that infringes upon my rights too. Did you know that if the government places somebody in the no-fly list because they have possible terrorist connections, they can still go buy as many guns as they want from wherever they want?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that? Did you know that the CDC isn't allowed to study gun violence and like what causes it? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. The NRA says no to all of that stuff because it could end up turning into they want to take your guns away.
Well, and the reason that the NRA is involved in that is because, listen, they give money away to politicians left and right. I'm not looking at a side of the aisle either. Democrats take NRA money just
Absolutely.
as much as Republicans do.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, this, on its face, really shouldn't be a wholly political discussion. This is one aspect of how you want to live your life.
I mean, I think if we really drill down here, that there is a discussion to be had about money in politics and the way that money wields influence in politics.
It's horrifying. Look at the FCC. We just talked about that.
FCC, FTC. Look at the way that campaign finance and
Super PACs,
super PACs. All of these things have listen, when you have somebody paying your bills and supporting your lifestyle, you are automatically going to be more sympathetic to what their agenda is. No, because you know that the minute that you question it or that you come out publicly against it, that flow of income is going to stop.
Well, and in some cases, it's not even necessarily sympathetic. I remember in an article several months ago, there was a student-led group that was composed of LGBT students that wanted to meet with a senator, and they straight up were like, no, we don't represent you. And the kids are like, well, you're our state
senator. Yes, you do.
Yeah. You literally
yes,
do.
you do.
We are your constituents.
Yeah, and they just they didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
Didn't get it. Didn't agree with that. Like, this idea of two sides, teams, in some people's minds is so definite and like it's.
But here,
I don't have words for it.
But to Nate's point about money and politics, that's where going back to the whole idea of is it too soon to talk about this becomes so ridiculous.
Yeah.
After 9/11, the war on terror began 5 days after that.
Yep.
It wasn't too soon to have the conversation. And guess what? People were still able to grieve and mourn the loss while, the country did something besides sit on its balls. Now, whether you're, pro-war on terror or whatever, either way, something at least happened.
Who's that Tommy Lauren chick or whatever?
Tommy Lauren.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Posted on Twitter, it's too soon. Give the family 24 hours to grieve at least. And one of the kids who was stuck in a closet was like, no.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah,
no.
literally.
I'm a school kid. I want to be safe in my school.
That's what it is. It's fucked up when kids across the country now are organizing a walkout of their school.
Yeah,
because
boycotting school.
You cannot keep us safe, so we're not going to school.
Yeah, and
more power to them.
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go another day.
I would encourage that, if you're a high school student and you hear about a planned walkout,
get involved.
Or if you don't have one, organize one.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's
even if
it is April 20th that's happening. I think
so. Yeah. Which by the way, that's the anniversary of the Columbine shooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going straight for 420.
Yeah, no, it is the anniversary.
Fair enough.
Well, it's also Hitler's birthday, which was why the Columbine kids chose it as the day that they.
Jesus.
After a lot of the shootings and whatnot that happened last year, I was getting to a point where I'm like, can it actually get any worse? And some of the things that I've recently been seeing, like for example, the fact that there were kids here who were being counseled on Twitter by other kids who have been through this type of thing. Like living through a school shooting is just normal in America now. Or there was another, it was an older article from, I think, back when Columbine had happened, that when parents were calling their kids, there were dead kids whose phones were ringing in their pockets.
Yeah.
And they weren't allowed, like the people dealing with the bodies weren't allowed to answer them. Like
Yeah,
that.
it's a crime scene.
Well,
Just,
I mean,
but there's parents, like, that
No,
whole image just freaks the shit out of me.
There
and there's
was-
people out there that are just like, no, don't take my guns. Like, fuck you.
yeah. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of really bad responses to the criticisms or call for gun control. One of the statistics that I saw was a map of the 18 shootings, school shootings that have happened since 2018. And
This year?
it seems like the best defense that people have against that factoid is, technically those don't all
Not
qualify.
all of those are real school shootings.
Right, yeah.
All right, first
Arguing
of all,
over the definition of what a school shooting
Yeah.
is.
Well, here's the
If-
point.
if
One is
there-
too many. So.
one discharge. If there was a firearm on a school premise that was discharged accidentally or not, that means that there is still the possibility in the future that somebody could come and it could be a mass shooting. You should never, ever think to yourself, oh, well, that wasn't a mass shooting, so it's not the problem. All right? There only has to be one death somewhere. And if you ever look at somewhere and goes, oh, well, it was only 20. Oh, well, it wasn't over 100.
Oh, well,
If
no
it
one
was-
got hurt.
If it was one person and it was your mother, your father, brother, or sister, would you take from someone, well, it was just one person? Because no, that ain't going to do fucking shit for you.
Yeah. Let's 810-207-1764, the number to call. Final Encountercast on Skype, limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you want to chime in. Let's go to our phone lines and talk to Fi on